Greetings. I want to talk today about logical fallacies, informal fallacies. Informal fallacies are basically just errors in language. The word fallacy actually comes from a Latin word to deceive or to dupe, the Latin word fallo, which is somewhat, the idea here is that they're attempts to deceive or dupe a person through using language. And there are various types. There's ad hominems, there's appeals to ignorance, there's appeals to composition. Some of them are more technical, some of them are more general. You'll see them all the time. And to a large degree, fallacies are great if you want to argue with somebody and you can introduce them and you can point them out in people's arguments, but you can also use them. You can say, one thing that really gets people convinces people is to really become emotive, to really start talking about, it's your patriotic duty to do this, or, if you're really an American, you would do this. Trying to appeal to sort of people's desire to be popular, trying to appeal to their emotions. Commercials and other things oftentimes do that. They use these appeals to ignorance. They use all these things. And one of the best things, one of the most interesting things, for me, this is a very interesting lesson. I really enjoy fallacies. I always find them fun to see and to find. And when I first started learning them, one of the fun things I would always do is I would love to just sort of point them out. Like when I'd be arguing with somebody, I'd be like, well, that's an ad hominem, and it's good to know that and to be able to point that out and to dismiss somebody. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But I always do caution people to be careful about doing that too much because, people don't really like, to be pointed out too much. It can become a little bit on the annoying side, I suppose. But they are a good thing. They're a good thing to keep in mind to avoid your own arguments. Because in the end, what fallacies are doing is they are using emotion or irrelevant information, other things to try to reach a conclusion, but basically the conclusion isn't really supported. They're basically irrelevant, or they're misusing the logical reasoning process, or they're being ambiguous. And so what happens is they don't really support the conclusion. And if your goal is to reach truth, if your goal is to reach a true conclusion, then you would want to avoid those, and you would want to be able to see when other people are using those. And that's the whole value of these. As you learn them, you can pick up papers, you can read things, you can watch TV, and you'll see these all over the place. And it's fun to see them, and it's fun to read about them or hear them, but as I said, there's something you should try to avoid, and I would, it's fun to kind of notice them when you talk to other people. So hopefully you will enjoy this as much as I always enjoy logical fallacies. I just find them to be a very interesting topic. Now, I will note one thing, for those of you who maybe are in this module early, the final project requires so many of these fallacies for you to go out and find them. And so that's why I I've released this module actually before modules 8 and 9. So some of you may be working on this early, and that's fine. And I would encourage you to do so because this is very integral information to be able to do well on your final project, the scavenger hunt.